Hi, this is Wayne Williams. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine sponsors who make Speaking of Horses TV happen for you. We want to give a big thank you to Equessentials, all your horse care products, taking care of your horse's coat and appearance and well-being, Equessentials. And King Barns, if you want that specific, well-designed, custom-built barn, you can't beat King Barns. Get a hold of King Barns, let them take care of your stable needs. Overland Carts. Great utility carts with a variety of functions to use around your barn. You won't go wrong with an Overland cart. And to Stall Butler. A big thank you to Stall Butler. If you want to save shavings, make mucking easy, cut your cost, Stall Butler is the way to go. And a thank you to Eagle Erie Equine. Modular, custom stall components, all for you. Thanks to these fine sponsors for making Speaking of Horses possible.
Well, welcome to our April report, the World of Equine News. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. We're glad to have you join us here on this special April report of Speaking of Horses TV. We're going to start off with a story about the Sanctuary. Now, the Sanctuary Equine Sports Therapy and Rehabilitation Center delighted their clients and guests once again by hosting another amazing VIP party tent during the Live Oak International Combined Driving Event. One of Florida's jewels in the Triple Crown of driving events, top name equestrians in both driving and jumping, mingled and lived it up all day. It was for everyone to celebrate Florida style in the VIP tent that was placed just adjacent to the Sanctuary, the sponsored water hazard located on Live Oak Plantation's coveted marathon course. Now, we're all excited to celebrate with all of our clients and friends, said Brenda McDuffie, general manager of the Sanctuary, and we couldn't have been happier with the amazing turnout of who's who in the equestrian community, especially since it looked like we were going to get some weather, but it held off, and just for us it seemed to hold off. So they had a great event. Now, trail riding is a huge pastime among horse lovers. Caring for trails, maintenance of the trails, legal issues, keeping the trails open, they're all very important issues. Now, recently I caught up with our trail expert in Springfield, Illinois, the Illinois Horse Fair. So, here's that interview from the Illinois Horse Fair concerning trails. Well, again, we're here at the Illinois Horse Fair. We are in Springfield. Marianne Wood is my guest. You are speaking here at the Horse Fair as well. So, first of all, welcome, and then tell us a little bit about your topic.
I talked about improving your trail ride experience, and I related that to the herd behavior of a horse, the prey behavior of a horse, being a prey animal, and how that related to how your horse works on the trail.
So, what's your background in riding and trail riding?
I do North American Trail Ride Conference competitions. I have over 22,000 miles, and that's the highest rider. And my horse, when he died 3 years ago at 39, had 20,780 miles, was the highest horse, and the first horse in the Hall of Fame.
Wow.
Yeah, and I also like to do pack trips.
Now, you're from Missouri?
Yep, Independence.
Home of Harry Truman, right?
11 miles south.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
From where his birthplace and farm was?
No, from his home in Independence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then, of course, the library's there too, right?
Yeah, 2 miles north.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so how are you enjoying your experience here at the Illinois Horse Fair?
I'm having a great time. I'm also representing Certified Horsemanship Association, and we're spreading the word about certifying instructors who certify riders.
Yeah. I have done quite a few interviews along the way with Christy Landwehr, who runs the CHA, and great lady, and it's a great organization.
Yeah. And I've been with it quite a while. I am certified in both what I call ring riding, the standard program, and in the pack and trail program. And we have 4 levels in pack and trail, all the way from dude rides to, you're on the Sierra Nevadas on the Pacific Crest Trail, you break your leg, that's it, you're on your own.
So, if you wanted to give a little advice, 2 or 3 things to novice or beginning trail riders, what would be your first advice as they get started?
I would say listen to your horse, because your horse will tell you lots of things if you pay attention. And your horse should warn you before it does anything, like jump off the trail. Your horse should tell you if your instructions are not clear. And most of the time it's the rider's problem. So the rider needs to pay 100% attention 100% of the time and think, and one thing doesn't work, try something else.
All right, good advice. Now, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions?
Let me give you the North American Trail Ride Conference website. It's natrc.org. And the national person there can give you local references. Right. Would be the best way.
So if you have a question, they can give you somebody in your area you can contact and maybe even meet with to get your answers.
Yes, because horses make good mentors for other horses, as well as riders mentoring riders. And sometimes the horse mentor is probably your real good ally.
Well, I love to trail ride, and a lot of people love to trail ride, and we certainly thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you very much.
And we're having a ball. We're going to show you a lot of highlights and more interviews with key people right here at the Illinois Horse Fair in Springfield. Thank you, Marianne.
Thank you very much.
Stay with us. More coming. You know, the Horse of Course was proud to present the Horse of Course High Score Award once again to Nadine Burbell for hitting the high score at the WEF Dressage Classic CDI 3. Now this time, Burbell rode the gorgeous mare Fiddle Hit, owned by Sarah and Michael Davis, into the winner's circle. She's a beautiful ride, she said. Burbell said about that horse that she's very sensitive, and I just enjoy every one of her gaits. It's so nice to have a horse like her to ride. Burbell topped everyone at the show with a score of 76.552. In the first level test one, she was presented with an embroidered saddle pad and tricolored ribbon from the Horse of Course. Now, you know, we were recently in Wellington, Florida at the International Horse Show near West Palm Beach. We caught up with an equestrian and author, Kathy Anderson, and discussed her new book, Change Your Shoes, Change Your Life. This is a great interview. Here is that interview from Wellington. Well, again, speaking of horses, we're here in beautiful Wellington, and we're at the International Horse Show, and we're telling you all about all of the wonderful kids and things that happen with the Step by Step Foundation. And right now I'm talking with Kathy Anderson. And Kathy, welcome.
Thank you, Wayne. How are you?
I am very good.
Fantastic.
Now, you are the author of a book, Change Your Shoes, Live Your Greatest Life. Now, this book is based on a lot of the fundamentals that we apply or is applied to the Step by Step Foundation in helping kids, you know, get a positive attitude and come out of their shells, out of the doldrums, out of maybe some very, you know, bad living conditions, and get them going and get them on the right track. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration for the book.
Well, you know, Wayne, it really all started for me when I literally changed my corporate high heels for hiking boots over 10 years ago to step out of a life that I wasn't feeling completely fulfilled with and stepping into something that was more meaningful and purposeful. And I think that at the end of the day is what we're all trying to do, is to say, where are we now and how can we step into a place that is setting us up for the most success and the most well-being in all we can be.
And you're right. And you came from Australia, and we were just discussing it's been almost 13 years now you've been here. But you made those changes yourself, and then you realized what a positive attitude and thinking the correct thoughts can do in your entire life.
I did. And, you know, among other places, I ended up in India, literally, where, as you know, the whole philosophy of the East is that with our thoughts, we create the world around. And even in Western psychology, you know, our thinking can affect our performance. And so when we start thinking and talking about how we can be most successful, we can look at the technical skills that we have, but if we can also look at how we think about things and having positive thinking and self-talk and language that we use, combined with the technical expertise, that can make us our most successful.
And then you can take that and you can generate it on into anything else you're doing, any sport, in the world of equestrian sport. You can actually pass that right through to the horse.
You can, and it's so critical. You know, one of the things I saw is when I was watching the riders walk the course, I would notice how technical the conversation was. And what I didn't see so much was the conversations around how are we thinking as we're walking the course, and what language are we using that is going to make our bodies and our energy strongest as we're riding the course. And that transfers through to the horse and what the horse feels. You know, the horse feels very different when the rider is feeling strong and confident and positive. When the rider feels doubt and weakness, that transfers through to the horse. It can significantly affect the way you jump and ride a course.
Can affect your entire life, because it does with the course, with the horse, with anything else you do. If you walk in with a positive attitude rather than I'm not sure attitude, you just, even with people, when you walk in with that attitude, you don't get the same response.
You don't. And the power of our own thinking, the power of the way we talk to ourselves and say, I can versus I can't. You know, in looking at every challenge really that we're faced with in life as something that we really can move beyond. And it's hard. You know, it's hard. I came from a background of being sexually abused by my father through my childhood. So I don't say that without knowing that getting through challenges and struggles can be really hard. But it's up to us in the end, our choice, to say, you know what, my life is and can be as big as I want it to be. And I'm going to make it that way, and I'm going to look at everything that comes up in my path as just another jump that I can get over.
As watching the movie a few years ago about Temple Grandin, the very autistic woman who's now a professor at Colorado State University, every challenge to her was another door or opportunity to walk through. And that's how she was able to overcome so much in her life. And it's just fantastic. You know, the book is Change Your Shoes, Live Your Greatest Life. And we are going to enjoy a read with this, because this is really good. How do people get a hold of the book?
Well, they can get it online anywhere at Amazon or Barnes & Nobles as a paperback, or an ebook on Apple or iPod. That's probably the easiest way. Just go online and order it right there.
And if somebody wanted to get a hold of you for some additional coaching, how do they get a hold of you, Kathy?
Actually, they can go to changeyourshoesnow.com, and that will go right to my website, and everyone can get in touch with me right through that.
Well, thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Wayne.
And we are here in beautiful, sunny Florida. We are in Wellington, and we're going to be bringing you a lot more from Wellington, and with all of the Step-by-Step Foundation kids right here. Stay with us.
You know, there's a new website to help horse travelers find campsites, layover places, just great general knowledge of places to stay with, visit, ride your horse. Now, we're encouraged to have you visit Trailmeister. That's Meister, Trailmeister, at trailmeister.com, and learn all about everything they have on this great website. We're going to have an in-depth report from Trailmeister in our May report, so you want to check that out. Well, we'll be right back after this with a story about racehorses and new lives. Stay with us. Hey, this is Wayne Williams speaking of horses. We want to take a moment to thank many of the fine sponsors that help to make Speaking of Horses TV happen for you. A big thank you to One Source Nutrition. For all of your nutritional needs, One Source is the one for you. To Revitavet, a beautiful light therapy system to either promote healing or to loosen up and help muscles in horses that are being worked on a regular basis. Please check out Revitavet. Equine Savings. You want to save money on all your purchases for tractors and equipment around the barn, even stable and barn paint. Equine Savings as a group can help you save many, many dollars on your next purchases. Who's Your Horse Trailers? A big thank you to Who's Your Horse Trailers. You want a well-built trailer, custom interiors, ready to go at a very affordable price. You want to look out and check out Who's Your Horse Trailers. And Saratoga Stalls, custom stalls, mid-range to upper range. Saratoga has the best construction policies in the way they build their stalls. Check out Saratoga Stalls. Thanks to all of our sponsors that make Speaking of Horses happen for you.
You know, we were in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania recently. That was in February at Horse World Expo. Now, we met there with author Ann Hambleton about a new book she has, Raja, the story of the many lives of a racehorse after they leave the track. It's a compelling book and it's a fun read for youngsters. Here's our interview with Ann. Well, welcome. We're Speaking of Horses. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Horse World Expo. This time, we are talking to author Ann Hambleton, and this is a book, a story of a racehorse. It's Raja, right? Raja is the book. And this is a story about a racehorse and the many different lives a racehorse can have. So tell us a little bit about the book and the inspiration for the book.
Okay, so just a little background on me. I was a steeplechase jockey, an amateur steeplechase jockey for 15 years. And in the steeplechase world, they really are second career racehorses. I mean, they're racehorses, but most of them have run on the flat. And so there's a lot of stories involved in that world, and you're sort of surrounded by, oh, this horse was a failed flat horse, and then he went on to go be the champion timber horse or whatever. So you're always hearing those stories in that world. So that's sort of part of an inspiration. I have, when I retired, I have a number of 5 actually ex-steeplechasers who I have been retraining and doing eventing and jumpers and dressage with. So I've been sort of living that. And as I was working with my horses, it really occurred to me that somebody needed to do a modern day Black Beauty, which is basically the impetus for the book, which I read 11 times when I was a kid in a row on a contest. And it really influenced a lot of, I think, my interest and involvement with horses. So I just started thinking about what would this perfect modern day Black Beauty be? And of course the racehorse story is there. I mean, it's a fun story, it moves quickly, but everything in it could happen. It's stuff that happens every day. You know, I went to New Holland auction to research it. I went, actually one of the horse rescue groups that's here involved in the Retired Racehorse Training Project, the Mid-Atlantic Thoroughbred Rescue Group. I spent an afternoon with them, and there's a rescue group in the book that is modeled on them. And the horse here goes from racing to show jumping to being a police horse to, you know, he has several different lives, a number of owners, some good, some bad, and it really is what happens to horses, you know?
Well, especially with racehorses, because their career is generally done before they're 10 years old. They're generally
when they're
done.
6. 6 is old
Right.
for a racehorse.
Yeah, but before they're 10, they're done, and there's still a lot of life left for the horse. So becoming a police horse, becoming a rescue horse, becoming a jumping or eventing horse.
Or a dressage horse.
Dressage horse. There are so many things, and in the book you talk about fox hunting as well.
Yep.
There's another career, because if you're a jumper or eventer, obviously you can do fox hunting.
Sure.
It's a fox chasing now, I guess. I've got to get the politically correct term. We don't hunt the fox anymore.
Yeah, they just like to run and jump across country.
But it is the continuing life of horses, and racehorses are one that's near and dear to a lot of people's heart, because, you know, they're worked hard on the track, and then they get a chance to get a whole new career.
And they're nice, wonderful, wonderful horses. They're generous. They're very hardworking. They're smart. They're athletic. And so this is a young reader book, by the way, too. This is for sort of 11 and up. And
it has a Mom's Choice Award honoring excellence. So it's based for kids, for young readers.
So it's sort of part of a learning thing. I've put it packed full of information. I was a pony clubber, so I'm got all kinds of good little pony club sneaky lessons in there about horsemanship.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good. Now, how do people get a hold of you?
Well, today I am signing books with Cantor, which is a communication alliance to network thoroughbred horses.
Right. You're doing that today, but the people that watch this show, this event is long over.
Oh, I see, yes.
How do they get a hold of you?
There is a website, rajaracehorse.com, and on the website is contact information for me. This book is available by Amazon, or if you go to your normal bookstore, they can order it for you. Right. But rajaracehorse.com would be the website.
And it is basically, it's just Raja, the story of a horse, right there. That is the book. Check it out. And thank you.
Thank you very much.
Very nice to have you join us, and we're always interested in bringing good stories about horses, anything to do with horses, and the retired racehorse program, getting them second careers, which this book addresses, is a key issue. So thank you for being with us on Speaking of Horses.
Thank you.
And we got more coming. We are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Horse World Expo. You know, it seems in spring books are on everybody's mind. Quincy the Horse books are very popular for young readers, and there's now a new Quincy book from Pathfinder Publications and Camille Matthews. Let's learn about this new Quincy book right now. Watch this interview. Well, we're speaking of horses, and we are in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. We're at Horse World Expo, and I'm with Camille Matthews, and Camille is with a publication company, which is, well, it's Quincy Books, and then
it's Pathfinder Equine Publications, and we publish the Quincy the Horse books for kids ages 4 through 9.
Yeah, and we did an interview a year or so ago on one of your books, and you now have a second book, and you're looking at a third book?
Yes, our second book is Quincy Moves to the Desert, and that came out this past year. And our new book that's slated for fall is called Quincy and Buck, and that has a theme of bullying. So we're very excited about that.
Well, now the Quincy Moves to the Desert book, which is the second book, is right here. And I'm going to hold it up to the camera right here. And this book, we were discussing this book. First of all, you know, these are great children's books. And you gear them for the kids, right?
Absolutely. They're for ages K through 4, and they're classic hardcover keepsake books. We feel that horse life and equestrian lifestyle is kind of a legacy, and we hope they'll be handed down.
Well, it is, and you tell some neat stories. Now, tell us a little bit of the story in this book where Quincy moves to the desert, that he actually travels across the United States?
Yes, the Quincy stories are based on things that really happened when Quincy came to live with us. And Quincy Finds a New Home, the first book, is about when he was purchased and came to live in our show barn. Then we, as a family, we moved out to New Mexico. So in Quincy Moves to the Desert, he and his best friend Bo go on a big trip across the country.
All right, so Quincy is traveling across the country, right?
Right, he's going across from New York to New Mexico, and he discovers to his amazement that horses are everywhere. And he learns as he goes through the various states that horses have all sorts of different jobs. And he learns that in the Amish country they pull and farm, and in Kentucky they race, and then he gets out to Texas and learns all about rodeoing. And as he goes along, Quincy imagines himself doing all these different jobs. So it's really fun. We also have a breed collage because as he's going along and getting kind of bored, he wants his friend to tell him some more good stories, and so Bo starts to tell him about all the different kinds of horses.
Now, tell us a little bit about, you've got a third book that's in the works, right?
Yes. That book is going to be about trail riding. And we're really excited because the series is set up to kind of grow with the child. The first book, Quincy Finds a New Home, is a real more simple, good read-to-bedtime story. As you can see, Quincy Moves to the Desert is lots of fun. It's got a lot of imagination and educational stuff in it. Quincy and Buck is going to be more about relationships. Quincy wants to learn to trail ride, but he's scared. So Bo suggests to him that he go out, find a really great trail horse, and get behind him and do whatever that horse does. And that will be a way to learn and be brave. So Quincy goes out and he chooses Buck, this well-known trail horse. Buck is a bully. Buck does not want to help Quincy. Buck does not want Quincy near him. So Buck gives Quincy a big kick, and luckily he misses him, but Quincy jumps, and Quincy breaks his bridle, and Quincy's in a down state, and then his rider gets off and helps him, and then she puts on a halter and a lead rope, and Quincy realizes he's going to neck rein, and he feels real confident about that. So he heads off and he's feeling better. Well, they get down the trail and they run into a dirt bike, and Buck completely gets scared. Buck won't go forward. So in the end, Quincy has to go out and lead them home because Buck's scared of loud noises.
But the whole thing is the adventures of Quincy, and this would be the third in the series, and all three are different adventures of Quincy. So it brings the kids in with the horses, the reading, the storylines, which are good underlying lessons. So it really sounds exciting. And of course, the second book out that we said is Quincy Moves to the Desert. You want to get it for your kids, really.
Yes, and they're available on Amazon, and they're available in all independent bookstores. And we have a great website, quincythehorse.com, where kids can go on the interactive kids page and meet the real Quincy.
Oh, wow. That's neat. So go to
quincythehorse.com.
quincythehorse.com and find out directly, but you can find a lot of ways there to purchase the book. But the interactive stuff, check on the website and see Quincy. That's great. I mean, kids and horses are such a match. This is just a perfect.
Our mission is to nurture a new generation of horse lovers.
Right. So, Camille, thank you very much.
Thank you, Wayne.
And we certainly want you to check out these books. This is the second one, Quincy Moves to the Desert. And then keep your eyes open for the third one coming. All right?
Thank you so much.
Stay with us on Speaking of Horses. We got more coming. We're in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and we are at Horse World Expo.
Hi, this is Wayne Williams, Speaking of Horses, and we want to take a moment to thank many of the fine sponsors that help to make Speaking of Horses TV happen for you. We want to give a great big thank you to Equine Clot. This is a product you can carry in your saddlebags or carry with you in your horse trailer. Any injuries, you wrap it on. It's an immediate clotting process. Equine Clot. Check it out. Also to Equestria Safe. Equestria Safe is a wonderful company. They handle all the safety products, from vests, glowing bands, all types of safety products. Please check out Equestria Safe. You're going to love the product lines and the safety ideas they have for you while riding your horse. Thanks to all the sponsors who make Speaking of Horses happen for you.
Well, that's our April report. We'll see you next time for the May report on World of Equine News right here on Speaking of Horses TV. I'm your host, Wayne Williams. Join us then. Till May, happy trails.